Hello again, and welcome to another entry to the Collective Dream Project. If you are new to the channel and enjoy listening to short stories, you've come to the right place. Today's entry is a sci-fi thriller. Please enjoy The Dead Drift. The stars don't shine out here, not like they do in the system. Out here, it's just drift, cold, dead, and silent. A perfect place to hide or disappear. Cade Dennan, a man with the look of someone who'd been carved out of the wreckage of every bad decision he'd ever made. Tall, but not towering. His frame was wiry, lean muscle, wrapped in the kind of sinew you only earn by fighting for air on low oxygen moons and crawling through ships that were better left forgotten. His face told stories he never would. One deep scar ran from his left temple through his brow, nicking the edge of a steel-gray eye that rarely blinked. The other eye, still sharp and blue, looked more tired than angry, though it had once been both. Stubble traced the hard line of his jaw, and his hair, dark and uneven, was kept short, more from necessity than style. His voice was low, gravel smooth, like calm static that never quite clears. A faded synth leather coat hung from his shoulders, patched in places with different lives: military, mercenary, scavenger. On his right forearm, a small interface panel was grafted into his skin. Old tech modified 100 times over. He didn't move like a hero. He moved like a man who used to be hunted, but was still alive anyway. Cade leaned against the bulkhead of the kite hook, eyes fixed on the cracked datapad in his gloved hand. The bounty's face flickered in green holographic lines. Veyla, 37, former war biotechnician for Axiom Corp, accused of illegal experimentation on live subjects, escaped custody 2 cycles ago. Dead or alive? A soft ping. The nav scan locked onto the source. A station, unregistered, adrift in the Elian fracture belt. He sighed and stood. Always a station, he muttered, strapping on his gear. Always some haunted husk full of bad memories. The doors hissed open, with a groan like something dying. Cade's boots clanged against metal floors, slick with condensation. The lights pulsed dimly, running on backup, and power seemed to be draining fast. Oxygen, thin. Temperature, dropping. No life signs on scan, except one. It was faint and deep within. He clicked on his comms recorder. Entering derelict structure. Trace signal matches Torrens. No response to hails. Proceeding. Then he drew his sidearm and stepped into the dark. Cade moved slow, eyes sharp, the gun up. The corridors were lined with broken glass, overturned lab equipment, and blackened smears that could have been blood or ink. Data slates littered the floor. Logs, recordings, images of grotesque human-alien hybrids in tubes, notes scrawled over with words like convergence, self-replication, failures. In silence, Cade whispered, "What the hell were you building, Veyla?" Then, footsteps, light and quick, not far. He chased after. He burst into the main lab. A woman crouched behind a containment pod, gaunt and pale, wide-eyed. "Veyla." "I didn't run far enough," she said hoarsely. Cade trained the gun on her. "Name's Cade Dennan, and you're coming with me." "You don't understand," she said. "This place, it's alive." Then the floor shook. The lights flickered red. Cade turned as something crawled from the ceiling, wet, fast, and segmented. It hissed, then spoke in fractured human syllables. Cade fired. The bullet tore through it. It screamed, high and synthetic, but didn't die. It split, replicated. Cade grabbed Veyla. "Run!" They sprinted down the corridors, chased by warped bio-creatures, amalgamations of muscle and machine. A long-limbed quadruped with a neck like a living braid. Its skin, a shifting canvas of storm cloud grays and ocean greens. It spoke in mimicry as it chased after them. Others were small and fast, flickering blurs with too many limbs, able to vanish into cracks of space no one had noticed before. They laughed, or made the sound of laughing that could be heard through the walls. Each creature bore something of Veyla's soul, her solitude, her questions, her fierce need to create without permission. They were not soldiers or servants. They were possibilities. They were alive. Lights dimmed. Alarms wailed. As they sealed a blast door behind them, Cade turned on her. "Why didn't you stop?" "If you felt the power of creation, you wouldn't have stopped either." The blast door shuddered behind them as something clawed at the other side, wet, rhythmic, patient. Cade paced the small chamber. His gun was half spent, his breath clouded in the freezing air. Across the room, Veyla slumped to the floor, cradling her ribs, her eyes still alive with some terrible spark of pride. "You think this is some kind of twisted godhood?" Cade barked. "You built things that can think, that can feel. And you left them in here, in the dark, to rot." Veyla looked up at him. "I didn't leave them. I stayed. They let me live because because they remember me. I was mother, maker, murderer, all at once. He stared, the pieces falling into place like ice breaking off a hull. They didn't chase you, he said slowly. They wanted me. A pause. Then a bang. A heavy strike against the door. Then another. Rhythmic and purposeful. They're learning, Veyla whispered. Faster now. They're testing us. Cade holstered his weapon and pulled a small canister from his belt. It hummed, with a red glow. I've got a thermite core, enough to torch this whole wing. If we can make it back to the dock. No, Veyla said. You don't get it. If even one of them escapes, it'll spread. This place was sealed for a reason. He stared at her. Then we burn it all. She stood slowly. The core chamber's below the lab. Power's routed there. We can overload the main reactor and cook everything in a 100-meter radius. And the catch? He asked. There's no remote trigger. Of course not. There never is. The path down was hell. Smoke, blood, scraps of lab gear fused to the walls. Creatures waited, watched, but didn't strike. One reached out as they passed, small and broken. Its eyes looked human. It spoke a single word. Stay. Cade didn't flinch. Veyla hesitated, but just for a moment. Don't look back, he muttered. They reached the core. The chamber pulsed with a low orange light. The reactor sat in the center, like a glowing heart made of steel and bone. Interfaces blinked with outdated software. Manual analog. Perfect for someone like Cade. He started the overload sequence. Lights turned red, and timers blinked to life. Cade turned to Veyla. You still got something left in that brain of yours? She nodded. I can finish the sequence, but you have to go. Cade shook his head. I've been drifting too long, Veyla. If this is how I go out, at least it'll mean something. She stepped forward. No. They chose me. I made them. So I need to finish this. They locked eyes. There was no argument left. He gave her the detonator, a manual trigger, no timer, just in case. The station groaned as Cade sprinted through it. Creatures screaming behind the walls, sirens wailing, gravity flickering. The kite hook powered up, its engines whining against the vacuum. He hit the bridge, threw every switch he could, and punched the launch thrusters as the station's outer hull began to rupture. From the rear view, he watched it collapse on itself, folding in light and fire, a silent nova. In the dark, Cade sat in the cockpit, helmet off, face hollowed by the red glow of a dying star ahead. He replayed the final audio log on loop. Veyla's voice, calm. We are more than what we make, but what we make remembers us. Then silence. Cade switched off the recording. The stars still didn't shine, but at least this time, they didn't feel so far away. If you enjoyed today's entry in the Collective Dream Project, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more narrated short stories like this.